Hello and welcome back to the Smart Hacks YouTube channel. Today we will be learning some basic string commands. So I set up some a little bit before, but you don't need this line. This is just to give some extra space. But it's just a new line. But first, this is our string. It is equal to hello world. It's our variable. And the string is hello world. This is another variable that we will be using to assign our new string. So we will be doing a command to this string and we will be assigning it to this, and then we will print it out so I can show you what it does. So let's start off with dot strip. What dot strip does is first you can put like str dot strip, and what dot strip does is it removes white space from the ends of your string. So imagine I do this, then dot strip will take away all of the spaces from my string, and if I print it, you'll see that it just prints out hello world without any of the white spaces from the ends. Yeah, number 2 will be dot lower and dot upper, which changes the case of your string. In this case, if I do dot lower, then it'll print out hello world but with fully lowercase letters, and if I do dot upper, it'll do the opposite, which makes all of my characters uppercase. Now let's do dot split. And what dot split will do is it'll break the string that I have into a list. And what that means is if I do this, new string will become equal to a list that splits up hello and world. This variable will be hello and this variable will be world. Exactly, and I can do this. So if I only want to print out hello, and if I want to print out world, I can do this. And the other thing about dot split is I can control where it splits my text. For example, if I do this, then it'll only split my text at commas. So if I put a comma here, and I put a comma here, then I'll have 3 variables, which is HELLOW, and then ORLD. This will be my list. Then there's dot join, which is basically the opposite of dot split. And what that does is if I have, say I have right now my list is equal to hello and world, then dot join will basically join them back into a single string again. For example, if I do new str2 is equal to, I put an empty string, dot join, and then inside, since this is a function, all of these string commands are functions, then they have this thing at the end, these 2 parentheses, and these 2 parentheses inside of them. For some of these functions, you need to put a parameter. And in this case, our parameter will be new str, which is our list. We can change that, actually, we can change new str to list for this one, because it is a list. And then if I want to print out new str2, then what it should do is it should print, see, because we converted it to a list with dot split, and then what dot join did is it connected the first part of the list and the second part of the list, and you can do this with like a list with 4 or 5 variables, and it'll put them all into a single string. Alright, and then moving on to dot replace. What dot replace does is dot replace replaces text in the string. For example, if I put dot replace here, I can put my parameter as something in the string that I want to replace. For example, if I put world and then hello, as you'll see that world, which is the old text in here, will be replaced with hello. So it should print out hello, hello. I can replace it with anything like 6 or something like that. Alright, now moving on, let's go to dot find. With dot find, what it'll do is it'll find the position of a substring, which basically means that like E is a substring of this str, world is a substring of str, and if I'll put my parameter in here, which will be, let's say L. The first instance of L, well, if I print it, you'll see it'll print out 2. That is because the position of L in our string is 2 away from the top. See, 1, 2, and then there's L. If I do world, then it'll find the position of world, which is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yeah. Now let's do starts with, dot starts with, and dot ends with. And what that is if I do starts with, then I can check what str starts with. For example, if I put h, str does start with h. So new string is equal to the boolean true, because it's true that str does start with h. But if I put l, or like this thing, then it should return false, because str does not start with this. Same with ends with, except ends with is checking what is the back of the string. If I put ld, then hello world does end with ld, so it should be true. But if I put another random string, it should return false. And now let's move on to dot count. And what dot count does is it counts the occurrences of a substring in a string. For example, if I have hello world, then if I enter L as a parameter of my dot count, then it should print out 3, because L occurs 3 times. 1, 2, 3. If I do it, then it prints out 3. Now if I change it to O, it should print out 2, because O only occurs twice. Yep, there we go. Now let's finally do is alpha, is digit, and is alpha num. Basically, what that does is checks it checks the content type of your string. For example, if I do is alpha in str, it'll check whether my string is alphabetical. In this case, it'll print out false since there's a space in between hello and world. But if I delete that space, it should print out true because my string is alphabetical. Secondly, if I do is digit, it'll check if my string is made up of digits, which is numbers. If I do this, then it should print out true because my string is made up of digits. But if I put a single alphanumeric character, if I put a single alphabetical character or a single space, then it'll print out false. And finally, there's is alpha num. Is alpha num checks for is if it's either a digit or alphabetical. Is al num, like this. And if I put that in there, this will be false since there's a space, but if I place that space with a bunch of random numbers, then it'll print true because every single character in my string is alphanumeric. Yeah, thank you for watching.